Hey, I'm Lana from Lana Glowshot Art, and in this video, we're unboxing the May 2025 Sketchbox. This month's box is all about mixing your own watercolors. Ready to get into it? Let's go. The surface in this month's box is the Sketchbox Signature Cold Press Watercolor Paper. This is a 100% cotton 300 GSM paper, which means it's nice and thick and can handle a lot of water and paint. Next up, we have the Sketchbox Signature Watercolor Powder Set of 5. These powders are pure pigment, and we'll be mixing them with a binder to create our very own watercolors from scratch. You might notice that the jars aren't filled all the way to the top, and that's intentional. When we shipped watercolor powders back in March of 2023, we got feedback that the full jars were tricky to open and could get messy pretty quick. So this time, the jars are filled a little bit lower to give you room to get your spoon in and to use the powders without making a big mess. The binder that turns these powders into watercolor is the Sketchbox Signature Gum Arabic. This product increases transparency and allows your paints to harden in the pan and then reactivate with water. Next, we have the set of 3 stainless steel mixing cups with a pour spout. These make it really easy to control your mixing and to pour your creations neatly into your palette without spilling. And speaking of the palette, we've included a 12-color empty palette this month. This is where all of your custom colors will live once you've mixed them up, so you can build your own personalized set of watercolors. Let's mix our first color. Here I'm starting with about 3 to 4 scoops of Golden Hour powder, and then I'm adding a small squeeze or 2 of Gum Arabic. From here, you can mix it together using the included spoon, or if you want to keep that spoon clean for a future mix, you can use something like a toothpick. Or here, I'm using the tine of a plastic fork. What you're looking for with your mixture is a consistency similar to craft glue. If it feels too thick, you can add a bit more Gum Arabic, and if it feels too runny, you can add a little more powder. This mixture is very forgiving, so don't stress out about it being exactly perfect. Once everything is mixed, I'll carefully pour it into one of the empty pans, using that spout to keep things nice and controlled. You can use these right away while they're still wet, but I personally prefer to let them dry completely and then re-wet them when I'm ready to paint, just like a traditional watercolor palette. And that's what you'll see me doing throughout the majority of this video. We also have a 1/4-inch stroke brush included with this month's box. This is great for both broad washes and more controlled strokes. Here, I'm swatching out the base colors, starting with Thistle. Then Smitten. Now, Smitten looks a little different on paper than it does in the pan, and that's because it's made from a combination of pigments that really come to life once water is added. You'll notice that with a couple other pigments and some of your unique mixtures this month. We also have Lemon, Sea Glass, and finally, Golden Hour. Something really exciting about working with watercolor powders is the opportunity to mix your own custom colors. Let me show you one of my favorites, which I named Rose Gold. Here I'm adding 2 scoops of Golden Hour to the cup that I just used to mix my gold. And then I'm adding 2 scoops of Smitten. Because there was already a bit of gold left in the cup, this ends up being closer to a 3-to-2 ratio. Next, I add a few squeezes of Gum Arabic and I mix until I reach the right consistency. Before pouring this color into the pan, I like to test the color. Testing your paints while they're still wet and in the cup allows you to make any adjustments really easily before they dry completely. I liked this color as it was, so I poured it into the empty pan and let it dry. Drying requires that you leave your palette open and usually takes about a day or 2, depending on your own environment. Here, I'm making a swatch card that includes all of my base colors along with my custom mixes, and I like to keep this near my palette for easy reference while I'm painting. I started with the pure Thistle and then a custom mixture of Thistle and Sea Glass, and then a combination of Thistle and Lemon. On the second row, I have Smitten on its own, and then Smitten mixed with Lemon, which I'm calling Sunset Orange. On the last row, I have pure Lemon, then a lime green I made by mixing Lemon and Sea Glass, pure Sea Glass, and finally, Gold and my custom Rose Gold. The The last product in this month's box is the Sakura Sketch Brush Pen in Rose. The ink is fade resistant and archival, and because it has a brush tip, you can vary your pressure to achieve different line weights. My favorite feature of this pen is that it's waterproof, so you can explore using it both under and on top of your paint without any bleeding or loss of detail. Now let's move on to a fun wet on wet exercise. I'm starting by taping my paper down all the way around, which really helps prevent warping, especially when you're using a lot of water like we are here. Next, I'm thoroughly wetting the surface. Move around your paper during this stage and look at it at different angles to make sure that the entire surface is evenly covered. Now, here's the really exciting part. Grab some wet paint and begin dropping it onto the wet surface. This is more of a gentle dab with your brush rather than a stroke, so remind yourself to keep it light and playful. As you add different colors, they're naturally going to spread and blend into one another. This can also create some really beautiful color combinations that you might want to use as inspiration for later custom paints. This exercise is a great way to play and experiment, and it doesn't need to look like anything specific. So really let go and have fun. Once you're done, you'll want to let this dry completely before you draw on top of it or remove the tape, and that can take a while. So this is a great activity to start before stepping away for a while. Once everything is dry, I'll remove the tape slowly at about a 45-degree angle, which helps prevent tearing the paper. Then I'm going in with my Sakura pen and tracing some of those organic shapes that were created with the wet on wet technique. Finding and tracing these shapes can be a really relaxing, almost meditative process, and it's a great way to enjoy making art without worrying about perfection. I decided to add a bit of sparkle to this piece once the lines were complete by adding in some golden hour accents. Throughout the swatching and demos, you might have noticed a bit of a color story coming together with these pigments. These colors were specifically curated for painting sunsets, which is our prompt for this month. So now we're going to use all of these supplies to paint a sunset together. Before I start painting, I like to take a moment to prepare my workspace. I tape down my paper, make sure my paints are mixed and easily accessible, and get some clean water. Then I dive in by thoroughly wetting the top portion of my paper where the sky will be, leaving the water area dry for now. As I begin dropping in color for the sky, I'm looking at my reference for inspiration, but I'm not expecting an exact color match. When you are working with a limited palette like this one, you won't always have a perfect match, and that's actually a really great opportunity to get creative and find interesting solutions. Limited palettes are also a wonderful way to add a bit more emotion or storytelling to your work. If you're interested in learning more about limited palettes, I have a video where I discuss limited palettes, and I even draw an entire rose with just 4 pencils. That will be linked down in the video description and at the end of this video. Before the sky is completely dry, I added some concentrated color to suggest the clouds. When you are working on very wet paper, your colors will move around quite a bit and create those really soft transitions. If you want a little more control, you can work on slightly damp paper like I'm doing here. Or, of course, you can wait for everything to dry completely and paint on top for sharper edges with more defined details. While the sky finishes drying, I move down to the water and work wet on wet again. To help this area read more like water and less like the sky, I use horizontal strokes starting with lighter yellows and oranges to represent the reflection of the sun, and then I gradually transition into cooler tones like sea glass as I move outward. Once the sky is completely dry, I switch to a wet on dry technique to finish the clouds. Here, I'm looking for more intentional shapes rather than soft blended edges. I begin with thistle for the darkest clouds, then add a bit of smitten near the setting sun. For that first layer on the ocean, I was focusing on the lightest areas of the water. Now I'm coming in with my custom mix of thistle and sea glass, using less water to create a darker value. Again, I'm using those horizontal strokes to suggest movement across the surface, but this time my marks are a little more careful and specific. Rather than trying to copy each shape exactly, which would take forever, I'm looking at the patterns I notice in the darker areas and I'm using those as inspiration. One of those patterns that I noticed is that these dark horizontal shapes tend to taper at the ends. So I've incorporated that into the shapes that I'm painting in the water. As I continue working on the water, I also applied a light transparent wash of thistle in certain areas to help unify the surface and to tone down some of the brighter parts of that first layer that felt a little too intense. One thing that the Sakura brush pen is especially great for is adding detail. And in this piece, I used it to help me refine the water's texture and the horizon line. I used the ruler from the April 2026 box, and I made sure that my horizon line was nice and straight. From there, I began refining some of the waves and adding a bit more texture throughout the water. I also decided that a bit of sparkle would really help finish this piece, so I used some of the golden hour along with my custom rose gold mixture to add some subtle highlights near the center of this piece, especially where the light hits the water. No two sunsets are ever the same, and this range of colors gives you the opportunity to paint a variety of sunsets with different personalities and moods. For this second painting, I used this photo reference as inspiration, and I followed the same steps that I just demonstrated. But because of the warmer colors present in this reference, I didn't end up using sea glass or any of my cooler green or blue mixtures. This resulted in a much softer overall tone. I hope you learned a ton about mixing watercolors, and we can't wait to see what you create. So be sure to use the hashtag Sketchbox May when you post your work online. For more unboxing videos and tutorials, you can check out our YouTube page where you can like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.